Hi, and welcome to today's video on absolute value.
Let's look at our table of contents. First, we'll look at the introduction, then what absolute value is, then we'll look at some examples, and lastly, we'll do practice.
Number 1, introduction. Absolute value is used to turn something negative into a positive number. Whatever is inside the absolute value is always positive. It tells you how far away it is from zero, otherwise known as distance. On the right are some examples of basic absolute value. So if the number is negative, obviously you cannot have a negative distance. So in this one, if it's bar -3, then it is 3. If it's absolute value of 7, then it's 7. And if it's the absolute value of -7, it's also 7.
What is absolute value? We'll look at how is absolute value written, what does it mean, and when is it used in real life. How is absolute value written? We can tell that a number has an absolute value if there are vertical bars on either side of the number. On a number line, if a number is at -3, then we would say that the number is 3 places away from 0, which is the distance from 0. In conclusion, our absolute value would be 3. Here's a representation of how that might look on a number line.
What does absolute value mean? Absolute value refers to the size of a number and distance from 0. For example, if a number is at 4 and -4 on the number line, they both have the same absolute value, which would be 4. In this image, you can tell that both -4 and 4 are 4 spaces away from 0, meaning the absolute value will be 4.
When is absolute value used in real life? Let's say that you wanted to find the distance between your bedroom door to the wall. Would you say that it is -10 feet away, or would it make more sense to say that it was only 10 feet away? Here's another example. You want to find the distance between your house and the nearest McDonald's. Would you say that it is -3 miles away, or would it make more sense to say that it was just 3 miles away? Anything that requires distance between two or more things involve absolute value. Many absolute value concepts are used in later maths as well, such as geometry and algebra 2.
Number 3, absolute value examples. Here are some examples, some questions, and the answers to these. Try to work on them by yourself.
Examples. Word problem number 1. On a coordinate grid, there were 3 points that made up a triangle. Point A is at -2, -6, point B is at 4, -6, and point C is at 0, 4. Looking at the x values, how far away is point C from point A? So point C's x value is at 4, and point A's x value is at -2. Therefore, the distance would be 2 points or 2 units away. Looking at just the y values, how far away is point B from point C? Point B's y value is at -6, and point C's y value is at 0.4. Is at +4. So the distance between the 2 points would be 10 units away. Did your answers contain a negative or a positive sign? If so, your answer is wrong. It is asking for the distance. Look closely at what the question is asking. If it is asking for distance, then there should be no signs.
Example number 2. Joe got the score of a 97 on a science test. On the same test, Harry got an 82 and Laura got a 87. So what is the difference between Joe's and Harry's score? So the difference between Joe's and Harry's score is 15. What is the difference between Harry's and Laura's score? The difference is 5. So out of all of these 3 scores, which 2 scores had the greatest difference? So that would be Joe and Harry's. Just because it uses the word difference, make sure that your answer is not a negative number. Since it's asking about the distance or the difference between the 2 grades, your answer should not have any signs.
Let's do some practice. Number 1, a company sells 20-ounce sodas. The volume of liquid in the bottle must have no higher than a 0.5 ounce difference. Which of the following volumes is acceptable? B would be correct because it has no bigger than a 0.5 ounce difference.
Number 2, Mark is looking for a job after college. His aim is a salary of $3,500 with a tolerance of $300. Which of the following are acceptable salaries for Mark? So based on these answer choices, the correct answer would be B, because it is less than $300 of difference.
Number 3, a submarine is 220 feet below sea level and a helicopter is 425 feet above sea level. Which of the following represents the distance between the two vehicles? To find the difference, to find the distance, we need to add the submarine, we need to add the feet below sea level and the feet above sea level. So we would add 220 plus 425, which would be 645. That's answer choice C. Thanks for watching.
See you in the next video.